and welcome back to my garden. And for this November episode, we're going to be doing some general tidying, some cutting back and finishing off our winter preparations. Also got a few bits and pieces of planting and some bulbs to get into the ground, so quite a little bit to cover. So I'm going to start off straight away with tidying back some of the buddleia. Well, the wind has already caused a little bit of damage low down here, and if I just cut this back on the bottom here, I can show you how that has been broken off by the wind, and we don't really want any more damage to be caused to the plant. Now I'll be pruning this back properly in the spring of next year, but what I want to do is I want to reduce the risk of damage. So I'm just going to take it down by roughly a third, just cut it down, which will remove a lot of the dead flowers. And just by taking a third out of the plant, it's going to reduce the chance of the wind giving it any more damage. It's so important when you're doing this to make sure that your secateurs are nice and sharp. Then we're not going to cause any damage to the wood, which could let any disease into the plant. So just carry on taking this down. As I say, when it comes to next spring, we'll really cut this down considerably. Whilst I'm doing this, we just take the areas that have got any of the flowers still on there, and we'll remove those, and it'll give better form and shape to the plant over the course of the winter. A couple here, and already we've got an improvement, and the wind is not going to cause any damage to that plant. Well, all of these lovely pollinating plants gave us some fantastic colour and protection for the fruit trees during the summer. Now it's time, I'm afraid, to cut and clear. So some of these have got absolutely enormous, so we're just going to reduce them in height in order to be able to clear them out from the ground. Then we can give a nice top dressing to the soil, make sure any weeds are out, and prepare this ground for winter as well. The fruit trees are looking really, really lovely and are growing very, very well inside here, but now it's time to open it all up. So I've got to carry on with cutting all of this down in order to find my way through. Well, the cosmos that was up to 8 foot high here is now down to a very manageable height, and I can get all of the ground cleared, ready for winter, dig in some nutrients, and we can actually see these lovely fruit trees coming through now, which is wonderful. A little apple tree down behind me here as well. So I'm going to carry on clearing this out. I think it might even take me the rest of the day to lift the weeds and bits and pieces and get a nice little dig ready for winter. Well, you may remember this border that I started last month, and what I'm looking at doing now is putting in some colour for late spring, early summer. And what I've got here are some allium bulbs. These are allium drumstick, and they will grow 60, maybe 70 centimetres high. Beautiful single flower on the top, and these are a dark red burgundy sort of colour, and I'm quite looking forward to see how they come out. And I'm just going to mix those into this border. And so the way I plant these, this is quite a nice loose soil on here, so I'm just going to make myself a little trench around the side through here, and I'm going to put these into drifts so they run through. We'll have a couple of trenches through here, just nice and simple, and they don't need to be too deep, about 1.5 inches, just so that the bulb is a couple of times its own depth into the ground. We'll start with these 2 little drifts here, and then I just put them in around about 3 inches apart, and they will, once we get the more drifts in place, they'll start to take a nondescript shape. Although they're in lines, they're curved lines, and they will not look like lines once they are growing through. And I've probably got around about 70 of these bulbs to put in here. Try and make sure that I put them in the right way up. And once I've got them in the ground, I just gently cover them over with the loose soil. That's a little bit hard there, so we'll just break that down. Just cover that over. Lovely. And then we'll move on to the next area. So all I do is I just transfer myself around, and we can clear out a little bit of the ground here. We might make a slightly different pattern in here. Just pop them round into a sort of circle maybe, with a couple in the middle. There we go. Lovely. These will give us a nice amount of a different colour to come through. So we'll just cover these ones in as well. And I'm going to carry on building a drift around the back of this here. Might put a few in at the front as well, but they're a nice tall flower. I've got to keep areas clear along the back because that's where I'm going to be planting the grapevines in spring. So a lot to do, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And this border is really taking a nice shape now. And I'm so looking forward to next summer being able to sit out here in amongst the flowers. Well, whilst I'm in this new border, I thought we'd add just a little bit of late colour with some lovely little cyclamen. And I'm just going to put these along the back of the entranceway here. And we just got to make, the ground is so lovely here now. We've really worked it so well. And very, very pleased with the ease with which I can dig into this. So we're just going to pop out one of these plugs. And just firm that into the ground here. All we're going to do then is just have them around about 3 to 4 inches apart. Then hopefully these will grow as the corms enlarge, and we'll have some lovely colour for years to come, which is all we ask really, isn't it? Nice little bit of colour in the garden. And at this time of year, when things are starting to die back, it's nice to have something that is going to give us colour coming forth at this time of year, which is lovely. And we'll put the last one just into there. Bring that down, and that'll fill the back of this border at the front here. And then we're going to be having some more plants in behind. But very pleased with the way this is taking shape now. Happy days. Well, thank you for watching what has been a rather short programme today. Unfortunately, over the course of this last month, my health has not been fantastic, and I've been in a lot of pain with my arthritis, and I've not been able to do much in the garden, which has put me quite a long way behind where I should be. The good news is I've been to the pain clinic and I'm having some treatment, and hopefully over the next couple of weeks I can catch up on where I should have been, and therefore I will put together another small show before the end of November for us all to catch up together. Now, what I have done in this little show, I've shown you the little bits of work I've done in the borders and some of the preparation, but as frosts come in, I'm really concerned that I won't have got all of my tender plants out of the ground, which is a great concern, but I really need to do that as soon as I possibly can. However, that's my problem, not yours, and I hope that you're enjoying your gardening as much as I enjoy mine when I can. So I'm just going to leave you with a couple of brief words. So stay safe, be kind to each other, and remember, this coronavirus hasn't gone away. We need to be looking after each other and showing each other some real respect. So thank you very much for your time this evening. I will leave you with a small glass of Cabernet Shiraz. Happy gardening. Cheers. Ah.